Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So Jack Catterall, in his first fight under Bozy Ennis, the dad of Jerome Boots Ennis, scores an 11th round TKO victory over Ekow Essuman in a very entertaining fight. Now that right there sounds strange to a lot of people, putting Jack Catterall and entertaining fight in the same sentence. But I think people have been a little harsh on Catterall over the years. His fights with Josh Taylor were very entertaining. He has had a few snooze fests. I'm not saying he's been compelling viewing over the years in every fight necessarily, but I think we should acknowledge that Jack Catterall probably is the most defensively sound British fighter out there. I'm not saying his defense is impenetrable, but you compare him to most other British fighters, maybe all other British fighters that are active right now, operating at world level, he's probably got the best defense out of all of them. And it's been that way for a very long time. He just knows how to position his feet and position his head and his hands to either avoid punches completely or take the sting off him. So he's very, very defensively responsible. And I don't want to see anyone in the comments talking about Tyson Fury. The guy's been dropped how many times? 7 or 8 times or something? Give it a rest. He's not even close to being the best defensive fighter in Britain. But Catterall is. What he may have lacked over the years, however, is offensive prowess. And perhaps that's why he decided to split from his old training team and hook up with Bozy Ennis, because Boots Ennis is an offensive juggernaut. With Boots Ennis, he's actually got the opposite problem to Catterall. It's his defense that needs work, but offensively, Boots is very, very good. Jack Catterall already has the defensive know-how, so presumably he went to Bozy Ennis to get him to come out of his shell offensively a bit. And boy, did he do that in this fight. Catterall started much faster than normal. He was piecing up Ekow Essuman early. He swelled up his eye. Essuman was bleeding from the bridge of his nose. There was a cut there, which I think was caused by a clash of heads. Jack Catterall also received some damage to his own eye by way of a cut, but his punches were doing damage to Essuman. And funny enough, right before Essuman got dropped in round 4, I was saying in my Element group chat, we might see Essuman get dropped if he keeps walking onto shots like this. And literally a few seconds later, he gets dropped. I could just see it coming. Even though Essuman's tough and Catterall doesn't have a reputation as a puncher, Catterall hits hard enough. We saw him hurt Josh Taylor. We've seen him hurt other fighters over the years. He doesn't get a load of knockouts again because he doesn't tend to let his hands go. But Jack Catterall probably hits harder than advertised. Let's just put it that way. He caught Essuman with some beautiful shots. Down he went. This is round 4. Essuman gets up and he's known as the engine. He pressed forward. He made Jack Catterall work, and Bozy Ennis was calling for a lot of punches from Catterall. And Catterall did look uncomfortable at times because he's not used to throwing that many shots. He's been boxing low volume his whole career. So even though he's a gym rat and he's always in shape and all that kind of thing, if you're not used to throwing that many shots, it's going to take some getting used to. Do you know what I mean? If you can ever get used to it at all. You're not used to exerting yourself to that extent. So it can be a bit of a strain. And it seemed to be a bit of a strain for Catterall. And I was wondering at the time, does he need to throw this many shots against Essuman, or can he just finesse him? I think he probably could have just finessed him without really trying to put a hurt in on him, but that's what Bozy Ennis was calling for. Catterall obeyed his new coach, and that resulted in Essuman going down again in round number 11. He actually went down twice. So Catterall hit him with, I think it was a 2-piece. Essuman touched down, but somehow the referee didn't catch it. When Essuman got back to his feet, Catterall just steamed into him again and kept punching. And that resulted in Essuman actually being knocked out through the ropes. Some people saw that as controversial, like Catterall shouldn't have done that. Kind of similar to the David Adelaide, Jamie TKV scenario. A referee who isn't decisive and clear enough leaves the door open for things like this to happen. But for me, it wasn't really a big deal because Catterall was going to get to Essuman anyway. He dropped him with that 2-piece. So yeah, like I say, Essuman down twice. The final knockdown, he went through the ropes and the fight was waved off. Essuman in no position to continue. As far as I'm concerned, that was by far the most entertaining performance of Jack Catterall's career. I think I did pick Catterall to win this fight. Somebody, at least one person, asked me on a live stream. I'm pretty sure I picked Catterall to win. And he proved, although he's not a natural welterweight, he still has enough skill and power to deal with a guy like Ekow Essuman, who is a fully fledged welterweight. So yeah, good performance by Catterall. And if he keeps boxing like that, from an offensive perspective, hopefully for him, he can shed this negative image that he has as being a boring fighter. Because as I say, I do think it's a little harsh. He has put on some relatively entertaining performances in the past here and there. So yeah, Catterall did his thing. The 147-pound division is wide open right now with Jerome Boots Ennis moving up. The champions aren't exactly the strongest we've ever seen. I have to imagine Catterall will be looking to target the IBF champion Lewis Crocker since they're both matchroom fighters. That's a fight I'm sure Catterall would fancy big time. What do you guys think? Catterall versus Lewis Crocker? Will Catterall come out on top? I suspect he would. But is that fight big enough for Lewis Crocker to want to take it voluntarily? Crocker, I'm sure, would rather fight Conor Benn. Anyway, let me know what you thought about Jack Catterall's performance here against Ekow Essuman. And what do you think his prospects are in this wide open 147-pound division? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.